Hello everyone, I am Mrs. Richa Justin Hans and I am Associate Professor in School of Nursing in RIMT University. So, the topic which I am going to discuss today is artificial feeding. So, artificial feeding is in child health, like feeding the children with milk that is other than breast milk, that is the feed which the child gets from the mother. So, the artificial feed is the feed which the child is getting besides the breast milk, that is known as artificial feeding. That can be cow's milk, buffalo's milk or commercially dried milk. Now, what are the indications? Why, in which conditions artificial feeding has to be given? So, first thing is death or absence of the mother. If the mother died or the mother is not present for breastfeeding, that means she may be sick. So, in that case, the child is or the baby or the newborn is given artificial feeding. The second indication is prolonged maternal illness. Suppose the mother is having a chronic disease for which she cannot breastfeed her baby. Suppose she has open pulmonary tuberculosis and she is active case, or she is having a disease for which she is admitted in the hospital for a long period of time. So, in that case the baby is given artificial feeding. Then failure of breast milk production. The milk is not being produced, the milk itself is not being produced in the breast of the mother. So, because of that artificial feeding has to be given to the baby. Next is the mothers who have active tuberculosis and HIV positive mothers. Then working mothers. Working mothers, as they have to go to their jobs, so in that case they are not available to feed their babies. So, the babies are given artificial feed. Then baby is adopted and the mother is not lactating. The baby which has to be given the feed is not the baby of that mother, means she has adopted him or her, as well as the mother is not lactating. Suppose if the mother is lactating and she has adopted a baby, in that case she can breastfeed. But if the mother is not lactating and the baby is adopted, so she cannot give breastfeed. That is, in that case artificial feeding has to be given. Now, what are the types of artificial feeds which can be administered or which can be given to the baby? The first is cow's milk. That is a very common artificial feed. It is very cheap and it contains 3 times more proteins than the human milk. So, the human milk, the amount of proteins the cow's milk has, it is 3 times more than that of the breast milk or the human milk. So, WHO recommends what? For the first 6 to 8 weeks the baby should be given diluted cow's milk. Direct pure cow's milk should not be given to the baby for first to 6 to 8 weeks. That should be 3 or 4:1 ratio, that is 4 parts water 1 part cow's milk, or 3 parts water 1 part cow's milk. Then is buffalo's milk. Buffalo's milk should be skimmed. Skimmed means the fat of the milk should be removed and to be given in same proportion as cow's milk, because it is also having more fat content than the human milk. So, it should be diluted for first 6 to 8 weeks. The ratio is same, that is 3:1 or 4:1. 3 parts buffalo milk, 3 parts water and 1 part buffalo's milk. Next is dried milk formula, that is either cow milk based or soy protein based. So, the dried milk formulas, all of us know that they are available in the market in the form of Pre-Nan, Pro-Nan or Lactogen. They are dried form of milk and they are usually cow's milk based or soy milk protein based. So, now there are different methods by which artificial feeding can be given to the baby. The first thing is bottle feed, second is cautery and spoon feeding, and the last is nasogastric, gavage or gastric feeding. So, today we will be focusing on bottle feeding, cautery and spoon feeding. So, first is bottle feeding. The bottle feeding, all of us know, it is a very common practice in India. Mothers or the families, they are adopting this method very commonly. Babies become addicted to it. All of us know, because the babies, they get dependent on the bottle, they get addicted to it, and it is very difficult for the mother to wean off the baby from the bottle, because he or she gets used to drinking milk from the bottle. Then prolonged bottle feeding may lead to baby bottle tooth decay. Suppose the baby is 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, till 4 or 5 years he or she is drinking bottle feed, then that may lead to a baby bottle tooth decay. Then is contaminated bottles may lead to diarrhea. If the bottles are not cleaned properly, hygiene is not maintained, they are dirty, the mother is not taking care how the bottle is being handled. So, the contaminated bottle may lead to the organisms being entering into the baby's body, and that may lead to diarrhea. Diarrhea is very common in babies, those who are drinking bottle feed. then should be practiced cautiously. If the mothers or the family in any condition have to follow bottle feeding, so that should be practiced very cautiously, because the baby can get addicted to it. The baby may have baby bottle tooth decay if it is prolonged, or the baby may have diarrhea if the hygiene is not maintained. Now, there are certain principles which have to be followed while giving bottle feeding to the baby. So, the first principle is after washing should be boiled for about 10 minutes. The bottle in which the feed has to be given, that has to be washed properly, and then it has to be boiled for about 10 minutes. It is not that the water starts boiling within 1 or 2 minutes, then you stop it. It has to be kept boiling till 10 minutes. Then hands should be washed thoroughly before touching the bottle and preparing the feed. This is very important. When the feed is being prepared, the bottle should be, and handling the bottle, or when you are touching the bottle, your hands should be clean before that, thoroughly washed. The whole of the nipple should be such that the drop rate is 1 drop per second. The nipple which is used in the bottle should be such that it delivers 1 drop per second. That is the rate of the drops. In this case only, the baby will get enough feed which he or she has to take. Now, next is technique of bottle feeding. The first thing is, after we have cleaned the bottle, we have sterilized it, it should be kept covered. Then we have to prepare the feed. It is not that you prepare the feed and then you sterilize the bottle. The bottle should be cleaned and sterilized beforehand, and it should be kept covered so that house flies or insects and all do not sit on that. Then we have to prepare the feed. Our feed has to be prepared only when the baby is hungry. It is not that it should be prepared beforehand and then you give to the baby whenever he or she is hungry. It has to be prepared then and now. Then change the soiled diaper and make the baby comfortable. So, before giving the feed, the soiled diaper has to be changed. Why? Because the baby will not be comfortable if the diaper is soiled, or you will not be able to give the feed properly. Then wash hands and test the flow of milk and temperature. Then again we have to wash the hands and we have to test the flow of the milk which is coming out of the bottle, as well as the temperature, by pouring a drop of milk on our upper hand, okay, so that the milk is not too hot, not too cold. Then the mother or the person who is going to bottle feed should sit in a comfortable position. Then if you are not in a comfortable position, you will not be able to give bottle feed to the baby comfortably. If any medication has to be administered, it should be given before the feed. Fine. So, because sometimes the baby, if we give feed and after feed we give the medication, sometimes the babies they vomit. So, whatever medication which has to be administered, it has to be administered before giving the feed. Then the nipple should be touched at the corner of the baby, because when we touch at the corner, the baby will himself or herself open the mouth, because there is a reflex present in the newborns that is called as the rooting reflex. So, whenever anything is touched on the corner of the baby's mouth, he or she will open the mouth automatically, because he or she interprets that he or she is going to get the feed. Next technique is, the bottle should be held in such a way that the nipple is completely filled with milk. The bottle should not be held straight, should not be lying down, because the nipple will not be filled with milk completely. Then burp during and after the feed. Burping is very important because it helps in releasing the air from the GI tract. So, during the feed also, we can stop the feed in between, we can burp the baby, and then we can again start the feed. And after the baby completes the feed, after that also burping is very important. Then after burping, make the baby lie in right lateral position. After the baby has taken the feed and he or she has burped, the baby should be made to lie in right lateral position. Why we make him or her lie in right lateral position? Because our stomach is on the left side. So, if we make the baby lie on the left side, pressure will be there on the stomach and the baby may regurgitate the feed, baby may vomit out the feed, and it is a risk he or she may even aspirate the vomited feed. So, that is why we have to make the baby lie on the right lateral position, so that there is no pressure on the stomach. Okay, the next method of artificial feeding is katori and spoon feeding. Okay, when the neonate cannot suck on the breast due to prematurity or any congenital malformation, or when breast milk is obtained from other sources, feeding with katori and spoon is the best method, because a bottle feeding leads to unhygienic, because it is sometimes unhygienic, but katori and spoon feed is bit hygienic, and it is given to premature babies because they are not able to suck on the breast completely, or they have some congenital deformities. What all articles we require? We require face towel to clean the face of the baby, then we need a katori and a spoon. we need feed, and we need Macintosh. Now next is technique. Technique is like Katori and spoon feed as the bottle, same Katori and spoon should be washed and boiled. Then we have to assemble the articles required at the bedside of the baby. It is not that you take the feed, then you take the baby in the lap, then you see okay, this thing is missing, that thing is missing. That should not be done. All the things should be assembled at the bedside. Then we have to explain the procedure to the mother if present, or if we are going to teach it to the mother, so we have to explain it to the mother. We have to take the required amount of feed in the cup, and it should be covered properly. Then we have to change the soiled diaper to make the baby comfortable. Then the person who is going to give the feed should wash the hands properly. Then we have to hold the baby in semi upright position in our lap, wrapped in blanket. The baby should be wrapped properly, and then in the semi upright position the baby should be held. Then we have to check the temperature of the feed. Then we have to place the Macintosh and towel below the chin so that the baby's clothes do not get soiled. Then we have to touch the spoon, same way like we are touching the nipple of the bottle at the corner of the baby's mouth, same way we have to touch the spoon at the corner of the baby's mouth, and he or she will open the mouth, himself or herself. Then the first bolus is allowed to swallow before giving the next. When we are giving the feed, when the baby swallows the first spoon, then only we should give the next. We do not have to force the feed inside the baby's mouth. Then observe the baby to prevent aspiration, and whenever we are giving Katori and spoon feeding, the baby should be observed properly so that he or she does not aspirate the feed. Then after feeding, we have to burp the baby. When the baby has completely taken the feed, we have to burp. Then clean the mouth after the feed finishes. When the baby has finished the feed, we have to clean the mouth with the towel, and we have to record the feedings with time, amount and date. At what time the feed was given, what was the amount and what was the date. Then what is the aftercare of the articles? We have to clean the articles properly, dry them, replace them for reuse. Now there are certain problems which are associated with artificial feeding. First is constipation due to undigested proteins, because the artificial contains high proteins as compared to human milk. So sometimes the babies may have constipations. Next is underfeeding. Sometimes the babies, they are underfed because we think the baby is full, but the baby is not full, we are giving less feed. Sometimes the baby is overfed, or overfeeding is done because we are forcing feed and we are giving more feed to the baby. Next is aerophagy. Aerophagy is the baby is taking in air more into the GI system, which leads to distension of the abdomen. The baby may have colicky pain, that is pricking pain in the abdomen, cramping pain in the abdomen, or he or she may even aspirate the feed. Then low pH formulas may lead to acidosis. If the feeds do not have low pH, then they may lead to acidosis in the baby. Next is malnutrition. Because of less feeding, underfeeding, the baby may get less nutrients, because of which he or she may suffer with malnutrition. Next is expensive and preparation is tedious. All of us know that artificial feeds, they are very expensive, especially dried milk, and preparation is also tedious because you have to boil the bottle, you have to boil the Katori and spoon, you have to prepare the feed. As compared to mother's milk, but because it is completely free of cost, there is no need for preparation. Then occurrence of infection if hygiene is not maintained, and if the hygiene is not maintained, the baby may get infection, that is diarrhea or upper respiratory tract infections. Now under artificial feeding, there is one more topic, that is weaning. Weaning is what? It is the process of giving an infant other foods and liquids along with breast milk after the age of 6 months. When the baby has crossed the age of 6 months, besides the mother's milk, the baby is getting foods and liquids other than the milk, other than the breast milk. The breast milk has to be given till 2 years of age, but after 6 months, with the breast milk, the baby is getting other foods also. What are the principles of weaning? Practice exclusive feeding from birth up to 6 months of age, means from birth till 6 months of age, exclusive breastfeeding has to be followed. No other food, not even water has to be given to the baby, and complementary feeding is only introduced after the baby has crossed 6 months. Then continue frequent on-demand breastfeeding until 2 years of age. It is not that the mother is giving other food, so she will not give breast milk. On demand, she has to give breastfeeding to the baby till 2 years of age. Then feed infants slowly and patiently and encourage them to eat, but do not force. We have to feed them slowly, very slowly, not in very haste, and patiently, because the babies, they may not eat in the starting. So, we have to be very patient when we are introducing weaning diet, and we have to encourage them. We are not going to force them. Then if child refuses to eat any food, experiment with different foods, combinations, tastes and textures. Sometimes the mothers say that our baby doesn't eat this, that. So, we have to experiment. We can combine different foods, we can experiment with taste, or we can experiment with textures also, like soft diet, liquid or semi-solid. Then minimize distractions during meals, and whenever the mother is going to give meal to the baby, there should be less distractions, so that the baby is completely focusing on eating the food. Then practice good hygiene and proper food handling. Then start at 6 months with small amount of food and increase the quantity as the child gets older. And when we start the weaning from 6 months, the amount of food can be less. As the child gets older, we can increase the quantity. Then gradually increase the food consistency also, because initially we have to give only liquid, then we can give semi-solid, then we can give solids. It is not that initially only we can start the solids, because the baby they do not have teeth, so they will not be able to chew it. Then begin liquids at 6 months, semi-solids by 8 months, solids by 12 months when the baby is 1 year of age. Increase the number of times the child is fed as the child gets older. Feed a variety of nutrient rich foods to ensure that all nutrient needs are met. Fine. So, the mother should be taught that she should include all nutrient rich foods, so that the baby gets a balanced diet. Give micronutrient rich foods also. We have to teach the mothers that micronutrients are also very important, like vitamins and minerals. So, she should be taught that micronutrient rich foods should also be given to the baby. Now, we can see quantity and frequency of weaning food till 6 to 23 months of age. So, when the baby is 6 to 8 months of age, the energy needed in addition to breast milk is 200 kilocalories per day. So, besides breast milk, the baby needs 200 kilocalories per day, and the consistency of the food should be start with liquid and pureed foods. Frequency of the weaning giving the food should be 2 to 3 times per day. Then amount at each meal 2 to 3 spoons per feed and increase to about 125 ml. Then when the child is 9 to 11 months, energy needed is 300 kilocalories per day. Finally, chopped or mashed foods or finger foods can be given. Finger foods are which the baby can hold in his or her hands and eat. Then the frequency should be 3 to 4 times per day, and amount at each meal can be half cup of 250 ml cup. Then when the child is 12 to 23 months, so the energy besides breast milk is 550 kilocalories per day. So, the baby can be given solid family foods which the whole family eats. The same food can be given chopped or mashed if needed. Then the amount frequency is 3 to 4 meals per day, and amount is 1/4 to full 250 ml cup. So, this is the quantity and frequency of weaning food. Next is keys to safe feeding. When we are giving feeding to the baby, giving food to the baby, what are the keys to safe feeding? First is wash hands properly, keep the food in clean utensils, separate raw and cooked food. The raw food should be kept separately from the cooked food. Then cook food thoroughly. The food should be cooked very properly, it should not be raw. Keep food at safe temperature so that it does not get spoiled. Use safe water and raw material. Then give freshly prepared food to the baby. Stale food should not be given to the baby, only freshly prepared food should be given, and keep the cooked food covered so that it does not get dirty. Now, what are the weaning foods which we can give to the children? In liquids, we can give soups of vegetables, pulses, we can give rice water to the baby, and we can give fruit juices. When we come to the semi-solids, in semi-solids we can give mashed potatoes, pulses, boiled vegetables, mashed banana, soft cooked rice, or fish can also be given, because fish is very soft. Then in solids we can give cooked rice, chapati, idli, bread, biscuits, banana, fruits, or anything which the whole family eats. Then what are the problems which the mothers face while they are weaning? If on starting weaning breastfeeding is stopped suddenly, it has an adverse effect on the psychology of the child. Some mothers, what they do when they start weaning, they completely stop breastfeeding immediately. It should not be done like this, because it affects the mental status of the child, because the child is dependent on the breastfeeding. So, the breastfeeding should be stopped gradually, but it has to be continued till 2 years of age. Then if prepared unhygienically can cause diarrhea. Same is like bottle feeding and katori feeding, same is with weaning foods also, because if we are not preparing the food properly, it is not clean, we are not cooking the food properly, we are not using clean utensils, so it can lead to infection in the babies, and if not nutrient rich, the child can develop malnutrition. If the mother is not giving all kinds of nutrients to the baby or the child, she is giving only one thing, so the child may develop malnutrition. So this was all about the topic of artificial feeding and weaning, and I suppose this was very knowledgeable for you. So for further references, these are the books which can be followed. Thank you so much.